Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Robert McCall. Eric McCabe is on assignment, and this week's episode is brought to you by the Chameleon Sapphire. Are distance drivers only for the pros? Nope. Say hello to the Latitude 64's first distance driver in their easy-to-use line. When designing the Sapphire, Thomas Ekstrom said he had three main goals in mind. The first was to make a faster diamond which can go longer and be a natural step up for the diamond fans. The second was to achieve a rim that was easy to grip with a shallow feel even if it's wider than the diamond.
It is.
And the third goal was to achieve a step up in stability because he believes that all diamond fans would love to have a faster driver with a bit less high-speed turn. For you number fans, the numbers for the new Sapphire is a speed 10, glide 6, turn -2, and a fade of 1.5.
Dude, these are the real deal. All right. I had a full disclosure. I've thrown a diamond. I've thrown a jade. They are very understable for people who have just even a little bit more arm speed, right? So that's what I expected the Sapphire to be. Maybe just a little bit more stable, but still I don't know. I just thought it was going to be wildly unstable. And I've watched Jeff Castellina, who's a Team DD guy. I watched Logan Harpool and then Dixon Jowers. All of those sent over videos or pictures of them throwing. Jeff threw his about 370, and I watched it turn right a little bit and then come back, and I was like, wait, what? I thought it was just going to roll or hold or whatever. Watched Logan, who can put him out there, throw his a little bit over 400, and then Dixon sent me a video. He's thrown on a little bit of a downhill over by Jones West, but he threw his 485.
Jeez.
Come on. This disc is the real deal. So anyway,
I need to get out and
check it out. Honestly, it would be a great driver for you. 100% yes.
Nice. I'm excited. So those are going to be available at dynamicdisc.com and some of your other favorite retailers coming
February 20th, this Thursday.
So check it out. All right. So we are back with another Disc Golf Answerman, episode 303. I got to play some disc golf. I got to play some disc golf in Bartlesville with my grandson. That was awesome. Good times for his birthday. He was so excited because he got a brand new Easy Cart. He got a brand new Scout basket. He got a brand new Dymax disc. He got a couple of discs signed by Eric Oakley and Zach Melton.
I like that he sent, this was before Christmas, but he sent you over, hey, this is what I'd like, and just a laundry list of
disc golf stuff. So
yeah, that was really fun.
His birthday was completely disc golf, which was really cool. It's just interesting to hear him talk about disc golf. In fact, he wanted the Easy Cart because Zach Melton used the Easy Cart.
I'll tell you, that Zach Melton is overrated. Wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Wait, what happened?
So I had a great weekend playing some disc golf. What about you, Robert? Did you get to play anything?
No disc golf this weekend. I did go to a pickleball tournament, just like a little round-robin thing. It was for 4.0 players and above. And I'd say Dixon Jowers and I went and played together. I'd say we're pretty solidly in the 4.0 range. We're now we know for sure, but we're definitely not above that. Won one of our games, our first one, which was cool, then lost our next 4 to one team that we could have beat, one team that we'd have to play pretty well to beat, and then 2 teams we were just never beating because they were very good. But we had a great time. Just went down to Wichita, ate Chipotle, which we don't have here, so that was awesome.
I'll admit it on the air. I should have done it, but when I texted you and said, where are we going to eat? So, by the way, I went up there and I watched them play and took some pictures. And you guys said Chipotle. I was like, really? Chipotle?
Dude, it's so good.
I mean, it's good, but it's like we're going.
We'll say something next time, man.
Because I thought after a while, Chipotle's pretty good.
It is good.
But I had Chipotle remorse, buyer's remorse. Anyway, all right, let's get to some disc golf questions.
Hey, let's.
Do you have all those sorted for me, Anthony?
Yeah,
on the
you're
form?
good to go.
All right. This first one is, by the way, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your disc golf questions. Hey, guys, also, if you're enjoying this podcast, we want to continue to grow it. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you tell your disc golf buddies to check out Disc Golf Audio. Search for it on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. This first question is from Jordan. Disc selection. Hey, guys, I throw my Warden about 300 feet consistently, but sometimes have trouble with it turning over too much when I'm on the course looking for the distance. What disc would you recommend that would be a little more stable when I put power behind it?
awesome that you can throw your warden 300 feet consistently. I have a couple of answers for you. The first that comes to mind is the VIP or tournament plastic shield from Westside Discs. It has a little bit, maybe a little bit more than a little bit, but a little bit more stability than a warden. Still has pretty good glide to stay in the air. I would say it's going to finish more left than the warden across the board, but if you're throwing your warden 300 feet, then you've got the sort of power you need to control that. The other one that you should check out is coming out in a couple of Thursdays, 9 days from now, and that is the Lucid X Warden, which is AJ Risley's Team Series disc. And look, man, like I know I talk about the Warden a lot, and I'm sure you're out there thinking like Robert must get paid royalties every time he talks about the Warden because he talks about it so much. First of all, I get paid nothing. This is an unpaid internship, so thank you for asking. But secondly, these
He's living off his pickleball winnings.
Oh. That's right. That's right. Which were free 99 this weekend. But secondly, these discs, like the Lucid X Wardens, feel so very good. If you're familiar with the Warden at all, especially in premium plastic, the early Lucid runs that we made kind of had a little bit lower shoulder than like the most recent hybrid ones, like the last year's Waffle Wardens. Those ones were kind of tall. These ones are a little bit shallower, like just barely, but they feel really, really good in your hand. Straight flight, a little bit of left finish, and a little bit of extra torque resistance because of that like lower shoulder and flat top. This is a great disc for you, Steven. You need to check out the Lucid X Warden. And AJ Risley will thank you. And I will thank you. And AJ Risley will thank you.
I will thank you, too, a little bit.
I don't doubt it.
Next one is from Steven. Hey, DeGam, have you ever played the disc golf knockout? Like the baseball game.
That says basketball?
Like the basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
That would make much more sense.
It would.
If so, what is a good distance to start at, and how could you keep the basket still open for the next person to throw when the first person has to run up to make a second putt? In basketball, the rim is high, so it's not blocked when a person runs forward to rebound the ball. I've seen actually some kids play this at when we used to have Brickyard House. What was it called? Brickyard Ale. Ale Brickyard 20. What was it called? Brickyard 20.
It was called Brickyard 20.
Thank you.
Ale Brickyard House.
Yeah, you had all the right words, just not the right order.
Brick House
and they
Yard
served
Ale.
ale.
They did.
They did serve ale. Anyway, I've seen kids play it. It gets pretty dangerous in disc golf.
It can get wild. I would say a good distance would be probably around circle's edge, 32, 33 feet. And the way that you ensure that people don't get hit is whichever side of the basket that you end up on, like, first of all, you just you have to do the old schoolyard thing, look both ways before you cross. But second, once you make a putt on one side, just go back around that side instead of running straight backwards. I know people do that in knockout a lot. You just kind of pass the ball and run straight backwards. You do have to be a little bit more intentional when playing this with disc golf. One disclaimer, because you are playing with hard molded plastic discs, this is a little bit more dangerous than basketball. So I'm not condoning that you do this all the time, but if you're going to do it with people who know what they're doing, make sure you kind of put people next to one another instead of just in like a straight line. Stagger them a little bit so it's easier for them to putt without hitting each other, and then just be careful. There you go.
All right, next question comes from, how many speak pipes do we have?
We have quite a few.
All right, let's go for a speak pipe.
One.
All right. The first one here is going to be coming from Jesse. Possibly. Oh, that's the one that has the weird audio.
Okay.
So I will paraphrase it.
Yes.
He's from North Carolina, playing with his friends. Hole has a double mando on it. His friend throws his drive, misses the mando, hits a tree, bounces backwards through the mando. So now he's got a clear shot to go through it. Is he able to play it from where it lies, or does he have to unwind around or play it from the drop zone?
Yes. Fantastic question. All right. Mandos now, it used to be where you had to unwind. Like if you went around it, then you had to throw backwards until you got around it, and that's unfortunate. But that was quite a while ago. In recent memory, and this is how Mandos work now, wherever your disc lands is where you play from. So if your disc passed on the wrong side of the Mando and is now past the Mando tree, regardless of if it's all right. So say it's a Mando left. So the Mando is on the right side of the fairway. You have to pass to the left side. If you pass to the right side of it and say it hits a tree and kicks left of the Mando but still past it, that's OB. However, if it kicks back behind the Mando, no matter which side it passes on, the disc has come to rest short of that Mando line, so you'd still be able to play from there throwing 2.
Okay.
It's where the disc comes to rest, not what it did to get there.
What if it hitchhiked?
Then that would be somewhat unsafe.
Okay.
Although,
especially depending on what side of town you're on.
That's right. That's true.
So be careful when you're out there.
But that's not advisable, or that's not advised, I guess, for your disc to hitchhike. Just go ahead and throw them.
Okay.
So, Robert, does that work both ways? Or if he had made the Mando, hit a tree, kicked back, does he now have to make the Mando again? Or
Yes.
is it once you make it, you're good?
If he makes the Mando and it hits a tree just past it and kicks back on either side, it doesn't matter. The disc has come to rest behind the Mando, so it still has to make the Mando.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, next one comes from Ethan. When you are throwing, especially when you are trying to get a lot of distance or going for a really high shot, are you always throwing nose down? I feel like I see pros crush shots that just get up high in the sky, and I have no clue how they are throwing so high and keeping the nose down. I'm trying to work on my form, and when I get the nose down properly, I feel like I'm losing a lot of air time. So how do I throw a disc high as the sky in the pie? Wait. Sorry.
That's not even close to what it
no,
says.
it's okay. So how do I throw a disc high and nose down if you can? If that isn't a thing, then what am I confused about?
We talked about this a little bit last week. So a lot of times when the pros are crushing those shots, it is because if they're throwing an Anhyzer, most of the really high shots that you see that are like distance type shots are Anhyzers, because you can start the disc nose down. You are starting it up into the air instead of a Hyzer where like it's on a Hyzer, you're trying to keep that same angle. On an Anhyzer, most of the time you're playing for a flex or something like that, but you start higher on your body. That helps you to get that nose down. If you're throwing like a huge Hyzer flip to get that distance, you can get it up in the air because you start with the nose down on a Hyzer, then you let it flip up and turn over to the right. So like I said, we talked about that one last episode, and then Danny has also answered that in some form videos. So if you have more questions about that, I would definitely recommend that you check out our Instagram TV page, where Danny answers disc golf questions there. And then if you have more form questions, you can send a video of your form to dgamform@gmail.com, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that was the correct email address, and we can take a look at it for you. Danny got one recently, and he's just starting to piece out how we can help you get better at disc golf.
Peace out. Next one is from Sam. This is about putting. This says Putting Woes Part 3.
Dang.
Wish we had some dramatic music. Hello to Gam fam. It's Sam again, with another question about putting. This weekend, I ran into a couple of scenarios where I had an obstacle to my right, and the best putting option was an Anhyzer putt. I adjusted my disc angle for an Anhyzer release, but it came out flat. What do you think could help remedy this problem? It's not a shot shape I find myself using very often, but would still like it to have it for when I need it. Also, a huge thanks to Robert, Anthony, and Danny for their advice on my question from episode 299. I feel much more confident and feel better about putting thanks to their help.
Sweet. I am in the same boat as you. Throwing an Anhyzer putt is very difficult for me, just because I naturally putt with Hyzer. By the way, Sam's in the chat, so thanks for joining, Sam. I appreciate that. So one thing that I think about when throwing Anhyzer putts is what I've tried to do, especially if I'm trying to work right around an obstacle, like from left to right, is I've noticed if I hold the disc on the angle that I want to throw it, so let's say I put it on 10 degrees of Anhyzer in my hand, and then I try to throw it like that, because my natural release is Hyzer, it kind of pulls it back to flat or even sometimes Hyzer, which is so frustrating. So what as simple as it is, what I've started doing is if I need to throw an Anhyzer putt, I'm going to hold the disc on even more angle, like almost an extreme angle, way more than what I want to actually throw it with, and then try and follow through, pop my fingers up just a little bit, because that's going to get that left edge up. If you're a right-handed putter, that's going to get that left edge up. That helps me to get the right edge down a little bit so it can move to the right. But when I do that, I'm popping those fingers up, and then I'm exaggerating my follow through to the basket. That's been the only thing that's really helped me a whole lot. It's like you said, I don't usually have to use that, but when I do, it's really helpful to know you can actually control the angle over to the right. I just do that by exaggerating it in my hand.
All right, so I want to call out for Oregon, South Carolina, Washington, Texas, North Carolina, Alabama. Make sure you check out veteransforvets.com, because we have some events coming up in your area that are run by local disc golf clubs there. We were talking this morning about Veterans for Vets, and we're guessing that we're estimating that by the time all of this is said and done, we're going to be upwards of tens of thousands of dollars raised for veterans organizations. So this has been a very good success for us here at Dynamic Discs, and we're excited to see what we learn from it and can implement it for next year. It's over now for you to be able to register to run one, but if you have one in your area already happening, you can go play it. So make sure you check out the events section of veteransforvets.com, because there's several going all the way through March. All right, let's go back and let's do another Speak Pipe question.
We've got one here from Mike.
Good morning to GAM fam. Mike from Connecticut here. During a round me and my buddy were playing about a month ago, something awfully stinky happened. We were about 8 holes in when my cardmate realized he had some mud-looking like material on the front of his pants. Under closer inspection, that's right, you guessed it, we realized it was actually dog poo, and it wasn't just on his legs.
Poop Town, USA.
But it was actually covering much of his lower back and the bottom of his bag. At some point, he managed to place his bag in a rogue pile of dog poop somewhere on the course, and it was now everywhere. He did manage to eventually compose himself, clean up, and went on to play a great second half. He actually ended up beating me. So after a long little intro, I was wondering, what was the worst thing that has ever happened to you on a round? And were you able to compose yourself afterwards? As always, thanks for keeping it real. Deuces.
Right off the top of my head, I don't have something terrible that's happened to me during a round, but I will say that I had a similar experience before a round even started. That was very sad. I got to tags here in Emporia. I had Shay with me, and I had our dog Walter, and we were running not late, but we were getting there pretty close on time. So I opened the back seat to get my bag out, and Walter just kind of ran out because, he's a pup dog. And he was running around, sniffing people, and ran up to this guy's bag and peed on it.
Oh, God.
Yep. Just like no warning, ran like, it was within 10 seconds of getting out of the car. I remember it was the tan grip bag. And I was just like, there's no way that just happened. Like, Walter does, he pees, he poops, he's a regular dog, but, usually not on people's stuff. Yeah, he ran straight up, and so we got him back in the car, and he and Shay left, and so I just sat there, and I was like, sorry, bro.
What did the dude say?
Well, he wasn't happy. I was like, I'll wash it for you. He was like, it's not a big deal. And I feel like I maybe found out later that it got on his wallet or something. I felt terrible. There wasn't anything I could do.
Do you even know?
I was not expecting that.
It was pretty rough. He ran out, sniffed around, straight to the dude's back, pee immediately, hiked leg and everything.
Wow.
Mark your territory there, pal.
Apparently, I don't know. I can't think of anything that happened to me. No, I can't think of anything.
That's the one that stuck out in my mind instantly. I've never I haven't had that happen where I stepped in poop or got my bag in poop or whatever. Oh, my very first tournament ever was at Turner Park in DFW. It was 35 out, and I was super unprepared. I didn't know what I was doing, and it was very, very wet outside, and I probably fell 3 times on the way to my first hole. So it looked like I just had poop all over me. It was mud, but that wasn't.
If we're sticking with the poop theme, It wasn't while I was playing an event, but I remember the first time I went to the Memorial, and the fountain course has are they ducks, or they're a different kind of duck or something? I'm gonna breed
Geese or something.
Yeah. And I remember, I'm getting on my knees and getting down to take pictures, and then suddenly I look around, and all of a sudden there's like bird poop everywhere. So I realized I had been kneeling down and laying down in bird poop.
That's not good.
No, so that's not good.
At least there's that super clean pond water you could wash it off with.
Yeah, the water that basically is the recycling of the bird poop. All right.
I need to make a quick adjustment.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I was thinking more about that Mando question a second ago. Okay, so
they even have pictures on the PDJ.
Yeah. So this is on one of the frequently asked questions on the PDJ. So everything that we said was true except for if a disc passes on the incorrect side of the Mando, passes back on the correct side of the Mando, then it's missed. If the disc passes on the incorrect side but then kicks back also on the incorrect side to where it settles short of the Mando, then it's okay. Like, you still have to make the Mando, but like, you don't have a penalty stroke yet. Yeah, there you go. I'll send you the link real quick, Anthony. Anyway, quick correction. I apologize. Continue.
You might put that link in the show notes too as well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Okay, cool. Thanks. We'll put that in the show notes. All right, this question is from Derek. It's about bagging. Question mark?
Bagging.
I played a tournament this weekend that was postponed due to bad weather on the original date. During that time between dates, the guy who won the intermediate received a 64-point ratings bump that made him 949 rated outside of the MA2 requirements. He was not made to move up. The question I have is, what are the rules about playing the correct division if the date of the tournament has been postponed? P.S. He shot 2 amazing rounds on a really difficult course, so props to him and keep it real.
What would you say?
My initial thoughts is you're supposed to play in the division of when you check in, not when you sign up. So I would have thought he needed to move up. Yeah. So there you go.
I'm nodding my head in agreement. Yeah, I mean, no matter when the tournament was supposed to be or not, the day that you're there, you play the division that you're signed up for.
And a reason I know
or that you qualify for, rather.
Part of the reason I know that is because that's the big question come GBO, because a lot of people sign up for GBO really early to make sure they secure their spot. And the big question is, well, what happens if my rating changes? And so it's the ratings. As soon as you walk up and say, I am Bobby Brown here to check in, whatever your rating is, they will have. Doesn't Doug automatically move you? Or yeah, he moves you to the whatever division you should be playing.
Now, if your rating goes down, like let's say you're signed up for intermediate, but your rating goes under 900, you can still play intermediate. You can always play up. You just can't play a division lower than what your rating dictates that you have to.
Gotcha.
The cutoff for MA2 is 935, by the way. That's the if you are rated 935 or higher, right? Is it 930?
It's either 930 or 935, yeah.
I know it's 935. I just don't remember if it's if you are exactly 935, you can play intermediate, or if you're 935, you have to play.
I believe the cutoff is 935, so anything 935 and above,
okay,
I believe is advanced. 934 is the highest you could be.
There you go. Thank you. Couldn't remember which it was. Cool.
I think.
Let's do some more speak pipe.
Yes, let's see what we got at Speak Pipe.
We have one coming from Jake from Cleveland, not State Farm.
That guy.
Hi, Disc Golf Answerman crew. Jake from Cleveland here. Question on shot selection. I have a 275-foot hole at my local course. Goes straight out into a field. Takes a 90-degree turn left. About 20 feet from the basket starts pretty thick woods. There's 2 paths around one tree leading to the basket. One's pretty straight from that 90-degree left spot. One is kind of diagonal to the basket around one specific tree. Interested on how all 5 of you might get to the basket. Most interested in Bobby because he's closest to my skill level, but interested in all 5 of you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, someone repeat the scenario.
You say someone?
Someone please repeat the scenario.
I'm also confused as to what he's describing. Do you have an idea?
It sounds like it's like
straight and then
dog leg to the left,
hard left.
It sounds like there's a big tree in the way. You can either kind of go through a gap to the left or around to the right. This is one that would help if we had like a diagram somehow.
Yeah, a picture or something.
Should we play it again?
We can try it, sure.
Hi, Disc Golf Answerman crew. Jake from Cleveland here. Question on shot selection. I have a 275-foot hole at my local course. Goes straight out into a field, takes a 90-degree turn left. About 20 feet from the basket starts pretty thick woods. There's 2 paths around one tree leading to the basket. One's pretty straight from that 90-degree left spot. One is kind of diagonal to the basket around one specific tree. Interested.
Okay, got it. It's basically like
so it's like boom, turn
90 degrees right, and then there's a shorter, like there's kind of an inside is what it sounds like.
Gotcha.
275. What are you playing there?
I mean, if I've got to put it straight where the dog leg turns into that fairway, I'm going to throw something. And did he describe how many trees are around us? I mean, if it's not open,
it's open for the first part, and then thickly wooded once it turns left.
Then I'm going to throw probably my Maverick.
Okay.
Something nice and straight, and then if it's going to be thicker, I want something with even more control. How far is it from the dog leg to the basket?
He said it's 275 total. I think the dog leg he said was about halfway.
Halfway.
So 150-ish.
So I'm probably going to throw my warrant.
Just on your approach.
Yeah.
Considering that it's only a 275-foot hole, I'm probably, and I may have just the total wrong picture in my head, but I'm probably throwing something that skips.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that I can
you
think
think
of.
That's what I'm thinking.
See,
like
but I can't do
like a felon or something. I'll just throw it hard at the ground and let it head left. I see some people on the board saying that it's up to the TD's discretion to allow you to play the event if the ratings update is within 2 weeks. I think that's true. If I will say this, if I'm you and my rating has changed, I feel pretty bad. And this isn't about like feeling bad, but I'm just saying like I think you should always play in the division that you're rated to play in, even if you got moved up right before the tournament started or something like that. I understand that it is up to the TD's discretion, but if it were me, I think it would be wise to have everyone play in that same division. Some people have said that on the board. So
gotcha.
There you go.
What are you throwing, Anthony, on the hole he described?
Sorry about that.
I was
caught
thinking
up.
Similar to Robert, like felon or something that's going to skip, and then, I mean, ideally you'd be at the mouth of one of those openings and having a putt for 2. So I don't know that I would really have a preference, either the straight shot or the angled one, just wherever your skip lands.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm thinking for my skill level, because if I get stuck in the woods, I'm going to be very frustrated. So for me to try to do a skip shot, and of course that's depending on the fairway. I mean,
we could be envisioning the whole
way wrong.
It could be a bunch of stumps and rocks and stuff like that where skipping is not going to really be.
Did he say the name of the course? Maybe I could try and find.
I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we've kind of given our scenario what we'd probably throw.
Yep.
All right, let's do another speak pipe real quick.
All right, this one is coming to us from Josh.
Hey guys, possible hot take discussion here. So if you want to use this for that, go for it. But I want to get your opinions on spoiler-free post-coverage media posts. I wanted to see if you guys thought it was actually possible for everyone to come to an agreement. I mean, players, tournaments, media outlets to come to an agreement on if they could stay spoiler-free for a whole day until next day coverage comes out. I understand the arguments of wanting to watch live coverage, and I mean, it's there for every other sport, so why doesn't everyone just watch live coverage? I am a huge proponent of the produced coverage after the tournament. I think disc golf is in a unique spot where the coverage that comes out after the tournament is very much steps ahead of the live produced coverage. So I'm much more into that. I prefer the commentators.
Go ahead and stop this one.
I think we do need to save that for.
We're going to save that for the disc golf hot take segment because that is because Vegas is this weekend and things are really going to start getting rolling.
We all have thoughts on that for sure.
Yeah,
we will save them for hot takes.
We're gonna have
good question.
Robert has a good hot take that we're going to discuss, but then part of our hot take segment we'll get into that. So save that one, Anthony. So. Okay. If you want to know what our thoughts are on it, make sure you either stay tuned on YouTube or listen to the next episode or listen to the next segment of Hot Takes.
Well, we're not doing that one today. That one?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do yours.
Yeah.
But then we're also going to talk about that.
Why can't we do that as a separate episode? I think it deserves a separate episode.
I mean, I guess we could. I just because I'm fired up about it right now.
Okay. We'll get it. Well, we can do a twofer. That's fine.
Okay. Well, because it's already out and we all know what the subject is.
That's fine.
I guess is what I was getting at.
It's your world. Whatever. I'm just kidding. That's fine.
It is Bobby's world.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make the voice.
Yeah, I don't think that was it.
That was not it. That was not Howie Mandel.
But his mom always said, "Don't you know, Bobby?" That was Bobby's world.
All right, so let's get to some questions. Jake asks about distance. As someone who is 5'6" feet tall, 5'6". I love when I try to change the wording in my mind. As someone who is 5'6", is it possible, assuming all form and technique is done correctly, to get 500 plus distance on max distance drive when the thrower is below average height?
Yes.
How tall is Emerson?
Less than 5'6". Well, he's probably about that.
And he can chunk.
Oh yeah.
His little baby's a chunk. You should see the video he put out with the little baby in it.
Cute little baby.
I know that most of the pros getting huge distance are on the taller side, and I'm wondering how much that truly affects distance potential. Currently, my longest throw is somewhere between 380 and 390 on a downhill throw and 320 to 350 on a flat ground or uphill shots. Thanks for all you do. Love the show and all of the disc golf video content you put out on YouTube.
Yes, 100%. It is possible for a smaller person to achieve 500 plus.
Who else is of shorter stature that can bomb?
Well, I mean, think of like Garrett Gerthy is not a tall guy. I mean, he's probably about as tall as me, maybe a little bit shorter, but 5'9", 5'10". Drew Gibson's about the same. He crushes. I mean, there are some very, very long throwers who are tall and lanky. You know, Simon and Eagle come to mind. Big Germ comes to mind. But I mean, even Macbeth. Like, I bet Macbeth's around 5'9". He's not 6 feet tall. I feel like we look each other in the eye for sure.
Yeah.
So, assuming that form and technique is done correctly, yes, I think taller people have a little bit of an advantage just because of longer levers. But each body is different, right? So, working with what you have, I think, you can get that out there. I am, like I said, I'm about 5'10". I've thrown over 500 feet a couple of times. Not anymore because, my knees are old and so is my, form and all that. But it's possible. I'm
5'9", and about 220. And I had to stop throwing because I kept throwing too far, 600-700 feet. And I just kept throwing past the basket. I couldn't control it, so I had to give it up.
So then you decided to only throw max about 300.
Correct.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. So
prudent choice.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Let's do another speak pipe because I know we got a lot of them.
Yeah. This is going to be from Max, who it's a good thing we're getting to his question because he named himself Max, the one who doesn't throw the EMAC truth. So we'll get this out of the way this week.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. Now, first off, guys, I have no idea what to call you anymore when I send in a speak pipe. Is it Disc Golf Audio? Is it Disc Golf Crew?
No.
Technically, it's not Disc Golf Answerman or DGAM Fam.
But it is.
And I respect the rebranding. I call you Disc Golf Boys with an I because you're cool like that.
Boys.
Anything would help because I don't have to take up about 30 seconds of your time just for that, and I'm super sorry. Now, my second and actual question is about plastics, and plastics specifically for the Raider. Now, a while back, I sent in a question looking for some driver recommendations, and you threw out the Biofusion Raider. First off, the Raider is pristine. It is the epitome of driver goodness, and I could not recommend it more. But my Biofusion Raider has a mind of its own. And released with the technical ability of an amateur player like I am, I may or may not, instead of tracking the basket, had it track straight for water OB, where it now sits in the deep dark abyss in its new forever home.
Oops.
And guys, I just want to know when or if there is a planned re-release for the Biofusion Plastic for the Raider, instead of just being a fundraiser disc for Toonie and US AMs. So any information you can give will be great. Thank you for all you do for the sport, and us as listeners, stay sweet.
Yes, I understand. First of all, we'll address the first part of the call, and that is the rebranding. Yes, it is a bit confusing, but I think once everything's settled, you'll understand. Disc Golf Audio is, I think of it as the network of the podcast, and Disc Golf Answerman is one of the shows on that network. So is On the Call, Disc Golf Hot Takes, and then some of the other little things that we'll do here and there. We have the question of the month, which pages just went out yesterday, I think.
Sweet.
So those are just short 5, 6, 7 minute segments with one question. So there's that. So always Disc Golf Audio, and you'll find all the cool stuff under that.
But when you're addressing us, we can be DeGam or
We're
DeGam
still
fam.
the DeGam fam.
Because this show is called Disc Golf Answerman.
Right.
It just lives under the umbrella of Disc Golf Audio. By the way, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this
can
sign.
they see it?
This is from a gentleman on Instagram messaged me. His handle is Stuff and Things Workshop. Stuff and Things Workshop. Check him out. And he sent this wooden sign that he put our logo in and then used epoxy to create the colors. Looks freaking sweet.
It is awesome.
So
and that's a solid piece of wood.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Stuff and Things Workshop. We really appreciate that. If you guys have stuff like that you think would be
Stuff
cool,
and things.
we're not going to turn it down.
Right.
I can't promise that it'll be on the wall forever. If you send us something that we're like, hey, thank you, but we just don't have room for it right now. Right. But if it's as cool as the sign, we will. So just think about it.
So to his next part of his question, will we have Biofusion Raiders as a regular stock item?
We still have plenty of Biofusion Raiders on the website now, both in the Toonie fundraiser and the match play. So I know that you said you're waiting for just a straight up stock run. Eventually, those will be a stock disc. I don't know if that's planned for this year or not. As of right now, I don't think it is, but Bio Raiders will be available more than just TFR. Like they'll be more widely available than something you have to play a specific event to get. You can get these off the website right now.
And if you are a skill level same as mine, a lower skill level person, a novice, if you will, I highly recommend a lightweight Raider. And I say this now because I was throwing that a few times this weekend, and I was like, wow, I just love. It's a pink one, 168. Man, I had to throw it straight with a nice fade. It did it what I needed to do, and then I needed to do a little turnover shot to get past a tree, and it was so nice, and it just made me feel like a pro, man. To be able to throw a turnover shot like that,
yep,
it just felt good. So
I appreciate that you looked at me when you said it made you feel like a pro. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, it made me feel like Anthony.
The nearest thing to a pro
the
in the room right now.
Me, yes, the nearest pro in the vicinity.
I dig it.
Where do I look? Where do I look?
What do I do with my hands?
Definitely not to your right.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, this next one is for. Oh, did you get rid of the Jake one, nope. Andy?
Yep.
All right, next one is from Bada Bing Bada Boom. This one's from, where's his name?
Hyzer Flip.
Oh, that's the name, Hyzer Flip. I was thinking that was the subject, Hyzer Flip. Oh, what it is, Hyzer Flip Max drive problems. I've been playing for about a year and have increased my distance 75 to 100 feet over the past year. Max drive currently between 375 and 420-ish with a Hyzer Flip. I notice sometimes I will get flip to flat with an S-curve, but most of the time it's ending up flat to finish left.
Okay.
right-hand backhand with the exact same disc. My question is, what factors do you feel are most important for that S-curve? Am I not generating enough arm speed to force it over, or should I increase or decrease the angle of Hyzer? I can't seem to get a consistent result to focus on. Or am I just wrong altogether? Do I need to try a different disc?
Okay, Mr. Hyzer Flip, good question. The answer to your question is, the first thing I would do is video yourself throwing, right? If you know that you like throwing Hyzer flips, video yourself throwing and take a look at what degree of Hyzer your disc is coming out on, right? If you are starting it on 20 degrees of Hyzer and it only gets up to flat and then turns left, look at starting it on 10 degrees of Hyzer. Look at starting it near flat and see what that does for you. Because I think what's probably happening to you is you feel like, I think there is a misconception behind Hyzer flips that you just put Hyzer, any amount of Hyzer on a disc, and it'll flip up, and sometimes it turns and sometimes it only gets to flat, and that it's a mystery kind of when that can be the case. Honest to goodness, the disc, until it hits a bunch of trees or a bunch of rocks, it's pretty much going to do like the same degree of, departure from like the initial angle at the same power, right? So like if I am used to throwing a Raider on 20 degrees of Hyzer and it flips up to flat and turns over just a little bit, then I know if I want it to turn over more, I need to either start it on less Hyzer or throw it harder. So I would say probably something for you to think about is, how hard are you throwing it, and what angle are you starting it on? Those are going to be your really big determining factors on whether it's going to get over or whether it's just going to stay straight. Now, like Bobby said, if the Raider is that disc for you that you love throwing, you might try one even a little bit lighter, or you might try a different plastic if you're looking for something to work over a little bit more. Like the Biofusion beats up a little bit faster, so you might find a Biofusion that's a little bit more beat up. But pay really close attention to how hard you're throwing and what angle you're releasing it on to start.
Got it. Next one is from Keith. Making a disc turn early or later. On live coverage, I often hear, he needs to turn that disc over very late for this shot.
Is that how I talk on broadcast?
Yes. He needs to turn that disc over very late for that shot.
It's like borderline yelling, and also that I came from Wisconsin.
What factors change where the disc will start to turn or fade depending on which? Is this something you can do with technique, or is this in disc selection?
I mean, these questions are very similar to one another. If you're asking for a disc to turn late, most of the time you're throwing something that relative to your arm speed is pretty understable, and you're starting it on Hyzer, right? So, or it can be a slower disc as well. Like, it's actually easy to do with a really slow disc, but say for me, my Blend Warden that's pretty beat up, if I start that on Hyzer, it'll get up to flat and then start moving right late in the flight. But if I start it flat, it's going to move right a lot earlier. So disc selection is very important, but also the angle of release on an understable disc is important. Anything to add?
No, sir.
Anthony, is that?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anthony's the nearest pro, so we should ask him. Hey, he can ball, by the way, in case you're out there and you're like, Anthony does not know. He's pretty good. Okay.
Another reminder, guys, Disc Golf Match Play is about to be upon us, so make sure you check out discgolfmatchplay.com for the United States Amateur Match Play Championship information. I believe brackets, you're able to sign up for brackets now, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, so you're able to sign up for brackets now, get one in your area. Do we know if do we have any? Are they listed yet for 20? Find a bracket. Is that last year's or?
No, this is.
Is it good? Is it live?
Yeah, this is live right now.
So we've got Alabama, Alberta, Canada, California, North and South California. Wow, they had to divide California into two places.
Yeah, it's a big place. Same with Texas.
Massachusetts, Texas, Missouri, Mississippi, South Carolina, Saskatchewan even has one.
Saskatchewan.
One. Wisconsin.
The early leader in the clubhouse, though, is Kansas with 7.
Oh, Louisiana's not too far behind with 6.
And then we got a couple 5s, Michigan, Ohio, and Tennessee coming in with 5 already.
All right, so go out to Disc Golf Match Play. Remember, you can run a Disc Golf Match Play in your area. Very simple. We send all that you need. You buy the players pack. You get UDisc has all the scoring. and all that. So make sure that you check out Disc Golf Match Play and get one done in your area. All right, we got time for a couple more questions. Let's do a speak pipe.
This one is from Jonas.
Of the Jonas Brothers?
Disc Golf Answerman.
Yeah, all of them.
Jonas Marshall from Nebraska.
Maybe not.
I was watching the Brody
Is he
Smith
the tenor?
disc golf battle where it's him and Adam Hammis against Paul and Hannah Macbeth. And it got me thinking. So like in high school wrestling, when you wrestle for yourself to get first or second or third in your medal, but at the end, you also have your team score, and your team also, gets either first, second, or third and you get in the end. Do you ever think maybe something like that would be incorporated in disc golf where, Paul and Adam play to win the tournament, but then they're both on Team Discraft, so Team Discraft would beat Dynamic Disc if they had so many players? And, you kind of understand what I'm saying, where you're playing for yourself to get your lowest score and to win the tournament as an individual, but then it also adds incentives of, you have Innova, MVP, Dynamic, Discraft, all there to play as well, all their players to compete as a team as well as individuals. Just something I kind of had pop up in my head one day, and just what's your take on it? Love to hear from you guys. Keep doing what you're doing and keep it real.
I mean, it sounds interesting. I just don't know. I don't know if there would ever be anything that would be sanctioned or anything like that. But I could see. I wasn't thinking so much manufacturers, but thinking that if you had a group of people or a local club that wanted to make things interesting, could form teams.
Mm-hmm.
I know, even in Oklahoma, has a team. What's the one that? No, that's one that you and Dixon and them a big team.
Texas Triples.
Yeah, where you have a big team event.
That one is Texas Teams.
Yeah. Where an event like that would organize some team point structure in that way. That'd be kind of interesting, just to change things up.
Sure,
but I can't imagine that be on a bigger scale than that.
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless you did something like, I think of another individual sport that does something like this is like bowling, where they do kind of like an all-star team. They pick captains, and then people are just no matter what ball they use or what company sponsors them, they get picked into teams, and it's usually 4 to 6 guys, and then they bowl against one another and keep up with team points. I mean, that could be a thing. It's for right now. It's probably a little heavy for what we have also going on in disc golf. I don't know. It could be really cool.
Yeah. All right, one last question. Just from
Bobby, real quick. Do they still do the President's Cup, where it's U.S. versus Europe?
Oh yeah, they still do
kind
that.
Of the same thing, right? Where they have matches where it's Paul against Seppo, and then Ricky against. Do they still do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what he's talking about, right?
Yeah,
sort of,
but in wrestling, so you have your wrestlers in each weight class, right? And so somebody on your team goes and wins I don't know what the weight classes are, but let's say the 150-pound weight class. Somebody goes and wins that. That helps your team. The same thing in track and field. You're competing in an individual event, but then it also goes to the team score. That's more of match play, one-on-one. The whole thing is a team event. So you in the Ryder Cup, Tiger Woods doesn't get additional something cool like a gold medal for going 4-0, but the U.S. team does better. So it's a little bit different than that, but yeah, not really anything that we've done so far.
Gotcha. All right, last question from Tyler D on putting. So I've been putting with a one glide putter for a couple months and find myself hitting the cage a lot of time. Do you guys think changing my putter to maybe a Warden or a Guard will help me hit more change, or should I keep practicing with this specific putter? P.S. Appreciate everything you guys do and love the podcast. Best part of every Tuesday. Aww.
I do, in fact, think you should switch to the Warden.
Well, of course. We knew that was coming.
No, if you're coming up low on the cage with a Glide 1 putter, there are a couple things that you can do. One is you can switch putters, and that'll help a little bit. But 2, the more important one is to follow through more and better, or I guess more fully. I've putted with low glide putters before, and I kind of liked it because I would only make the putt if I really committed to it and made sure to follow through and extend to the basket. So if you're confident that you are committing to putts now and they're just coming up short because of an inadequacy of the putter, sure, switch to the Warden. But it may be switch to the Warden and also follow through a little bit more. That'll help you out.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sending in your questions. We appreciate it. Keep sending those in to discgolfanswerman.com, the Google form, or send in your voicemail to SpeakPipe. That's all we have time for this show. What do we have coming up? We have some new releases coming up this weekend. Not much big happening. It's going to be freezing cold again.
Mm-hmm. Vegas starts this weekend, right?
Yeah, Vegas starts. So we're gonna think about our skip ace and get that implemented. And we'll figure that out, and we'll post that on the Facebook group, and we'll talk about it next week, how that's working, because the first event will be the Memorial, so we've got a little bit of time.
If you end up going to iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, make sure and drop a rating in there for us. Maybe leave a comment with a 5-star rating. We would really appreciate that.
Drop it like it's hot.
Just so more people can hear about disc golf and join us on the Disc Golf Audio channel and here on Disc Golf Answerman.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
All right, YouTubers, hang tight for the Disc Golf Hot Takes. Robert says he's got a good one. Do I have to get my research ready to go?
You won't need research.
Oh, really?
But I need a second, though.
You got to research it?
Mm-hmm. I want to come up with it real quick.
Come up and... I want to get one of these jackets. You didn't get one, did you?
No, but I think it looks really cool.
I do, too.
You know why I didn't get it?
Why?
She wants me to be responsible with our money.
Great. I'm going to get it now just to wear it everywhere. The reason I haven't got it is because I've got plenty of hoodies now. This would be like...
Oh, I have way too...
Unnecessary
Dude,
hoodie.
okay, we were looking at that
But
the other
half
day.
price.
Yeah, well, and it looks really sick. I gave away quite a few T-shirts and long sleeve shirts and a few jackets the other day. So, narrowing down the closet a little bit, just trying to move out some stuff that I don't really wear that somebody else might be able to. But then I went back to the jacket portion of the closet. There's a lot of jackets in there. It sucks.
All right. All right, so we're getting warmed up, ready for our disc golf. I'm going to get a drink of water.
Okay, do that.
Yeah. Oh, that's in Alabama.
Okay.
I was telling Shay there's a pickleball tournament in Branson.
Oh, nice. That sounds good. Hey, guys, give us just 1 second. We're going to get ready for Disc Golf Hot Takes here. If you do have quick questions on the board while Bobby gets a drink, I'd be happy to help you out. Tanner, is the sapphire ideal for people who typically throw the trespass? I think if you like the trespass, you'll probably get a little bit more turn out of the sapphire. But it crushes.
What about the Renegade?
The Renegade's more understable than both,
Oh, okay.
I think. Buttery hot takes. Oh, Diggin' DG, there may not be a place to leave reviews on the Stitcher app, or in general, just wherever you listen to us. If there is a place, we'd love for you to leave us a review there. We see the one on iTunes the most. Juicy Jonah says, "What mics are you guys using?"
These are the
Electro Voice
RE320.
There you go. Let's see.
They're really nice mics.
Real nice.
Really nice.
Chaser, the next DD subscriber giveaway will be our hand-me-down jackets, yes. Dude, I should...
I actually have some polos.
I was going to say I should bring in some DD hoodies that I don't use anymore that I could give away. I'm going to think about that. Good idea, Chaser. Game used. Washed, of course.
Game used.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready? Oh, yeah. I had an intro for Disc Golf Hot Takes, and I thought of it on the drive home, and then I didn't write it down anywhere.
Well, that's your new intro.
Is that what it is?
That, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one.
All right, ready?
Hold on. I'm not ready.
Oh, gosh.
Will you pull up the chat and answer a couple of questions? Because there's a specific rule that I know exists, but I can't find right now.
That pertains to your hot take?
Yeah.
Or?
Somebody wants to know if we have a team captain for the Touring Pros.
Yeah, Eric Oakley. He is the official team captain.
Robert, have you thrown the Chameleon Raider?
I have not. They're very poppy, though, so I have to assume they're very overstable.
I believe Danny has thrown his, and that is also what he said.
I've been throwing Innova since I started and would love to try out some DD. Is there a conversion chart?
Say it again?
I've been throwing Innova since you started, but we'd love to try some DD. Do we have a conversion chart?
We don't have a conversion chart necessarily, but if you have a couple of discs, we might be able to help you out.
Can't we have one just the GAM show without a dislike? No, that will never happen. I believe that there's one person that always dislikes our video.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Anthony.
It's me.
Have they named a new captain for Team West? I don't think so.
Chris Villa might be. Okay, I'm almost there.
Okay.
All right, I'm not finding what I need, so I'm just gonna go with this. And then if I can get if you think of what it is.
If I think of what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah.
Are you sending me something?
No.
Okay.
Well, here, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you, and you tell me if there's a rule that goes along with this.
Okay.
Where's your name? Okay, there you go. Any other questions on the chat board?
Let's see. Don't forget, Bobby, your new vids, mind blown, my friend. Well done, sir. Nice, thank you. Yes, been doing a kind of a B dynamics. I just been calling it B dynamic because I couldn't think of another name. Series where we're getting a little more insight into the minds of our touring players. First one went out with Chris Clemens. Where after talking to him on the phone,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
he was talking about how he practices a lot. And he just said it out loud. He says, "Yeah, it just feels like an art, the art of getting better." And I was like, "Bam, that's your theme." And then after talking to Eric Oakley, we talked to him a little bit about what he wants out of disc golf and stuff like that. And we talked about how people always see him as the silly guy, the fun guy, but that he's really serious about the sport. And I was like, "Bam, that is you. You may think you know me." So
yeah, both of those are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. So
I
those
didn't have
turned out
anything
really
to do with them, but
so I've got one that I'm working on, another person that I'm working on. Then I've got to film some more, and we're going to be doing those profile style videos throughout the year as we progress toward Pro Worlds and beyond.
That's perfect, Anthony. Okay, I'm ready. That's what I was looking for, but I was typing in the wrong stuff.
Oh, and Doc Zen liked my local route video.
Oh yeah. Protostar Rock 3. As far as the feel of it goes, Jonah, the Mace is the closest thing that we have in feel to a rock, but flight-wise, you're probably looking at an EMAC Truth or, an EMAC Truth is probably the right answer. Let's do it.
All right, ready? All right, guys. YouTube, hang on to your questions. We're going to do Disc Golf Hot Takes now. We're going to record that episode.
And then, you know what? Afterwards, we'll have a little bit more discussion. We'll hear what you guys have to say.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we'll stick around for YouTube. We'll finish the recording, and then we'll stick around and talk. Well, maybe we'll just keep it recording, yeah?
Yeah, we can keep
it rolling. Are we doing
rolling.
the media or live spoiler one after? Or are we waiting for Eric?
No, I'd like to do it now.
We'll just do it today.
Okay. Yeah.
But we'll decide on... We'll talk about this first, then do the live one, then just talk with
depending on how long we take.
YouTube after that.
Recording.
Okay.
All right, so do a timestamp when we start this so we know, Anthony.
I'm doing separate recordings.
Okay, so you already hit recording?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes, where we give our take on disc golf topics that are sometimes based in reality and sometimes they are not. Keep in mind that our opinions expressed may not necessarily be where we stand on a topic, but we just like to argue.
And we do it a lot.
And we do it well. So, with that being said, This week's disc golf hot take is from Robert McCall. What do you got, Robert?
I think that players who are not properly observing their card mates' throws and other relevant activity should be given a one-stroke penalty for failure to officiate. I have seen all the time on the course when somebody throws a shot into the woods and we don't really know where they're at, and somebody's like, hey, did you see where that went in? And they're like, no. I think that's part of your responsibility as a disc golfer to watch. Hold on, I still have more. Okay. To watch what's going on when all other competitors are competing. I know that some people want to stay in their own game. That's cool, but I think it is the player's responsibility to pay attention to all relevant activity on the course. PDGA rule 812, letter B, 1 and 2. It says a player must perform actions expected by the rules, including helping to find a lost disc. I don't think anyone would argue with that.
No,
that one, usually that goes well. Moving equipment when asked. Usually that goes well also. Keeping score properly. Most of the time that goes well. I think those, in general, by players are upheld, and they do a good job. But number 2, watch the other members of the group throw in order to ensure rules compliance and to help find discs. This may be the least followed rule in disc golf.
The babysitter rule?
Yeah, this may be the least followed rule in disc golf. So letter C after that says a player receives a warning for the first violation of any courtesy rule, which this falls under. 812 is all on courtesy. Each subsequent violation of any courtesy rule by that player in the same round incurs 1 penalty throw. A courtesy violation may be called or confirmed by any affected player or by an official. Repeated courtesy violations may result in disqualification by the director.
So basically what you're saying is I have to practice the round, I have to feed myself, I have to practice my own game, I have to pay attention to my own throws, and now you're asking me to pay attention to your throw.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking.
What if I'm I mean, some of these courses are huge, right?
Sure.
And you outplay me, and you throw.
You're darn tootin'.
So now
you can't pitch them slow down the middle.
Some
like
of these
that.
are made believe. So
okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, go ahead.
So you throw way ahead of me. So now what do I have to do? I have to go walk up to your throw to make sure everything's good to go, and then walk back to my lie.
Well, you would never walk up to yours and then back to you never walk up to mine and back to yours because you would throw first. If you're farther from the basket, you would always throw first. You would never have to.
Yeah, but I got to pay attention to where it's at and make sure that you marked your lie correctly.
No, yeah, we would do that as we move up the fairway together. Okay, so
I see what you're saying.
It's less about pace of play, really, as it is being attentive to what is happening on the course.
Now I've got a 5-card backup instead of a 3-card backup because now I've got to pay attention to the other 4 people on the card.
See, but this shouldn't add any time because this is what people were supposed to be doing the whole time. If you walk together, hold on.
You said they weren't doing it.
What I'm saying is if you walk together to each shot, you're supposed to only have 30 seconds to get to your lie. Once you address your lie, that's when your 30 seconds to throw begins. So, assuming that you're not going to really be throwing while anyone else is moving around, and also assuming that you're not walking to your lie in front of somebody else while somebody behind you is throwing, those things I think are easy assumptions to make, then this shouldn't add any extra time. What I'm actually asking is for players to adhere to the rules just a little bit more. And the reason that I'm asking for that is in the sake of fairness for everybody. All right? So let's say the 4 of us are on a card. Me, Bobby, Anthony, Danny. We're all on a card. And Bobby, Anthony, and Danny are super rule sticklers, right? They're watching every foot placement, and they're watching minis being put in place, and they're keeping time, and they are, they're doing that sort of stuff. And so then I throw, right? I am at a statistical disadvantage to the rest of the field because it's likely that most other card mates aren't paying that close of attention. I'm saying this should be fair across the board, that everyone should pay attention to the rules and should call them when they see them including, and probably the most important one, watching where people's throws go. I'm about done with somebody saying, I didn't see where your shot went. It's your responsibility to watch. And I think if we started handing out penalty strokes and actually doing it, because it's in the rules, but it's not enforced, actually handing out penalty strokes, I think once that starts happening, people become a lot more attentive.
I think it's just it was just going to cause more people getting ticked off because having to pay attention to every shot thrown. I think I disagree that it would cause more time on the course, because when I've done my throw and you're going to do your throw, I may be doing some other things that I need to get taken care of.
Like what?
Hacky sack? No, playing.
But what? Like wiping your disc off or something like that?
Like wiping my disc off, eating a snack, getting a drink. I can't do that necessarily while watching every throw that you make, that Anthony makes, that Danny makes. And sometimes when there's 5 people on the card, another person makes.
Sure. Okay, so I would argue that you can have a snack, drink your water, drive your disc, all of those, either while watching people throw or in between the time when one person's throwing and the next person.
What about if I got to go to the bathroom?
Then you tell.
We know that disc golf courses don't have very many porta-johns. Yep. I've got to run and unfortunately go find a spot to go to the bathroom.
Sure. That's a great question. So your responsibility then to your card is to say, hey, I need to run and use the restroom.
Don't throw your discs yet because I can't watch it.
Yes.
That's delay of play.
I don't think it is.
How is it not? You have to now wait for me to go potty.
I mean, I think that's something that's not specifically in the rules, but if you let your card know, I know in the rules you're not supposed to just run off from your card,
sure,
right? But if you let them know, then either you can say, all right, these 3 competitors are enough to ensure that the disc is going to be found, or that you might just need to wait. I don't. What do you think, Anthony? I'm curious. Not about like winning or losing. What do you think about the argument?
I think that it boils down to, like people in the chat were saying, it's about effort. Saying you couldn't see where a disc went is a lot different than saying you didn't see. You weren't paying attention.
Right.
You don't know. So I think in that regard, yeah, you're absolutely right. People should be forced to make an effort.
Yes.
People shouldn't be just sitting there on their phone, texting, I think the bathroom thing is a little bit different. If you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go to the bathroom. I don't think it's fair to pause the tournament because some guy had to run into the bushes.
Sure.
But yeah, I think there should be rules, and it should be enforced that you have to. If you're playing a tournament, it's part of what comes with it when you sign up for it. Now,
yes,
you have to pay attention. Yeah.
The other thing is will causing a harsher punishment have people do that.
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Of course.
What's the punishment now?
Well, it's supposed to be...
Or the consequence, I should say.
It's supposed to be the first time that you have any courtesy violation is a warning. Each subsequent violation of a courtesy rule, which is all the stuff underneath here, incurs 1 penalty throw.
And what do you want to up it to?
I want to say 1...
so no violation.
Actually, you know what? I think that I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say 1 penalty throw. If you are intentionally not watching other people's stuff.
So no courtesy.
1 penalty throw.
So what if I just happen to not be paying attention?
That it's your responsibility.
On accident.
What I'm saying is it's your
what
responsibility
if a bear comes
as a player.
running across the field, and I look away, and you throw, and you don't know. Why shouldn't you know where it's at?
Okay, well,
why do I have to bear the
hypothetical
responsibility?
situations aside, I'm going to say that yes, I think if in a maybe even just for a short time, if we made this a 1 throw penalty for intentionally not watching, because it's like Anthony said, there's a difference in I couldn't see where it went and I didn't watch where it went. If I am making an effort to watch and I just happen to not see,
who's
that's
the judge
different.
of my intention?
Okay. It would be easy to say if all right, here's
that sounds like Minority Report, where you were punished
pre-crime, the pre-crime division.
Right.
Nice Minority Report call out. I like that. All right, so here I am on the right side of the fairway. I would say that if everyone is standing within 30 feet or whatever, where they can kind of see what's going on, even if you're not standing right behind me, even if you don't have eagle eyes on where my feet are, at least you're close enough to get an idea of what's happening. If you are a couple 100 feet away, looking the other direction, talking to somebody else or on your phone, that's a clear situation where I would say you weren't even making an effort to pay attention.
All right. I have a couple questions for you, Robert.
I'm ready.
What happens if, like, it's not something we have to worry about here so much at Country Club and Jones, but what if it's a course like Iron Hill?
Sure.
You throw,
Super Woods,
hit the tree,
Yeah, that's
60 feet
earlier.
that way. I throw, hit the tree, 60 feet the other way.
Sure.
We're about the same distance. Does the card all decide, okay, Robert's out, we go, we watch him.
We
Now
hurried
it's
over
Anthony's
to
turn.
watch.
We go,
Yeah.
we watch him.
Sure.
Am I allowed to go to my disc and just watch from there?
Great question.
Of course, how is that handled now? It's not like your rule's like a brand new rule. You just want
No, it's
harsher
not
punishments.
Yes, I want people to actually have to pay attention. So I would say how it is now is whichever disc is out, the person who let's say it is 60 feet off the fairway, which is a long way, but close enough that you can still see the person for the most part.
Sure.
Right. So I would say the three people who aren't throwing assuming it's a 4-person card, the three people who aren't throwing the shot can stay in the fairway and watch from there, because then at least like you get to see kind of what angle the disc came out at. You can go stand behind them, and that's great, but not everyone has to traipse through the woods to get back there. Within reason, you can at least see what's going on. Then once they throw their shot, you can go over to the other side of the fairway and address yours. So that's what I would say.
Realistically speaking,
Yeah.
4 of us are on a card. You're 60 feet off the fairway
Right.
this way. I'm 60 feet off the other way. You go in. You're over playing your shot. Bobby, Danny follow you in, and I'm just standing in the middle because I don't want to have to walk 60 feet towards you,
Right.
120 feet towards me, 60 feet back to the fairway.
Correct.
Is that now a courtesy violation on me? Am I not showing the same effort as the rest of
No,
my
no,
card?
because you're still showing effort. Like you still have eyes on where my shot is. Even if you're not standing in a perfect spot to say it hit this specific leaf of this specific tree. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is that players pay attention to what's happening. And you can do that from the fairway. You cannot do that from 200 feet back on your phone talking to somebody else. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I've got one more.
I'm ready.
4 of us. It's coming down to the wire. I am in 3rd place. Danny's got me by 1.
Sure.
You've got me by 3.
Right.
What
how many do I have you by?
You're different division.
He said he was in 3rd place and
It's
then
fine.
said to other people already.
Di-
Anyway,
different
Oh, he
division.
did,
Different
didn't he?
division. No, Bobby's playing Masters.
you're playing super open.
Yeah. So I'm 2 out of it. We've got like 5 holes left.
Yeah, right.
What happens when I start throwing because I see you're not paying attention? And I throw and I say, oh, you weren't paying attention. Stroke.
Yeah.
So who is the onus on? Is it on me to make sure you're watching me, or is it on you to make sure that you're watching me?
Okay.
Do you have to announce like, okay, I'm about to throw?
No, but fantastic question. I would say that the onus is on the card as a whole to make sure that everybody is watching. And so if, let's say we get to a tee box and I write down scores, you're not going to throw before scores are taken down because
Sure.
you can't.
Sure.
So let's say I have the card. As soon as I write down scores, I put the card down and you throw. My responsibility is to have my eyes on your shot. That quick. Even if you're intentionally trying to beat me to it, it's my responsibility to watch. And if I'm making an effort to do so, I don't think that would be penalized. However, if I take the scores, put them in my bag, get out my phone, do whatever, look over here, that's when I think trouble comes into play.
So let's say you're taking scores, right? Okay, I got a 3, you got a 3, Bobby got a 2, Danny got a 7.
Yeah.
You go
Rip.
fold the card up, put it in your bag, go to get your disc out. You're not sure, do I want to throw this one or that one?
Mm-hmm.
In that time, I've already thrown.
Right.
So you weren't actively not paying attention. You're
Sure.
just there participating in the tournament.
Right.
And I noticed that, and I say, oh, Robert, you weren't even looking. You were
Yeah.
looking at your bag the whole time. That's a stroke.
Right. It's my responsibility to watch you.
So then when are you able to decide, do I want to throw my verdict or do I want to throw my EMAC? There's a little bit of wind. I'm really not sure. Because you can't do all of that in your 30 seconds.
See, I think you can. Or at least if, all right, let's say you are that quick and you throw, like, from the second that I put the scores back in my bag, you are running up on the tee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my best to get my eyes up and watch you. And then while that's flying, assuming that I've practiced enough to know like it's going to be between one of these two discs, I do need to make that decision in that time. I don't think I need the whole time that you're throwing, like even with your warm-up, to decide. That's what I think.
So you're saying when my disc is in the air?
Sure.
But isn't that the part where you're supposed to watch? What if it hits a tree? And
Right,
kicks in
but
the
I'm
woods?
thinking I don't have to look at the disc to. I don't have to look at the discs in my bag to decide which one I want to throw. I can watch a disc and think, oh, that's doing differently than I thought it would.
I think we're getting lost in the weeds here.
Well, were you paying attention?
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
It's just the. I mean, the thing is that it's not like. I mean, it's not like what he said is a brand new rule. It's just the enforcing of it is more harsh.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I'm trying to because as it is right now, some people pay very close attention. Some people pay almost no attention, and that means that they are either at an advantage or disadvantage based on what card they're on.
So
that sucks.
The hot take is that he thinks that the punishment should be worse to make it happen less. Obviously, that's the whole point of punishment. Is
I'm trying to hit him with it.
Make it happen less.
Pay attention.
So, Anthony, you're the judge. Of course, I think you agree with him. It's hard not to agree with him because it's hard not to be frustrated in those situations.
I don't. Okay, well, go ahead, Anthony, and then I'll go.
I agree in principle with Robert. Yes, people should pay more attention. The execution of you must be paying attention to everyone at all times, otherwise it's an immediate stroke.
Right.
I don't agree with that. That said, I feel like Robert presented a good argument for it.
You love to see it.
I would go with Robert on this
softball. That was a softball. He picked a softball.
It was kind of unfair on my behalf, but I'm trying to get those points. Okay. Okay.
Unless you have any more counterpoints, Bobby.
How many?
I'm willing to listen to any.
I have no more
and
counterpoints.
Okay. Honest take. I am not in favor of a one-stroke immediate penalty. I am in favor of actually giving people courtesy warnings if they don't pay attention. Like if you throw and your whole card says, "Man, I wasn't watching." I am in favor of people saying that's a courtesy warning. You have to watch. That sucks. And for a little while, you're going to be that guy, and everyone's going to be like, oh, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. But I have had it happen before where I lost a disc, mind you, one of my favorite discs, because I threw it. I thought it was in a good spot. I turned to my card, and they were like, yeah, I don't know where it went. I was not pleased. And I had to rethrow.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked. So anyway, I'm in favor.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, so we got the other one that we want to talk about, right?
So this is less of an argument, really, as it is. We're just going to talk about this, right?
Right. Just seemed like What?
We're probably at about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we have about 20 minutes. Why don't you go ahead and separate this one?
Yeah.
Wait. Let me make an ending though, real quick. That you'll edit in later.
Yep.
Magic.
All right, so that's this disc golf hot takes. Apparently, Robert won this one.
We'll
give it to Robert, even though that was a a lob.
I could have won if you would have presented.
You were awfully quiet that second half.
There really was no argument against it. But anyway, so we're going to post this on Facebook, and we want to get your thoughts on this disc golf hot take on making the punishment worse if you are not paying attention and able to make a call on someone else's throw. What is the rule again?
The actual PDGA rule. We're talking about Rule 812, letter B, letters B and C.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next disc golf hot take.
Bye.
Let me know you made a separation.
I am good to start recording again whenever you are.
All right, guys. This is a bonus disc golf hot take because this was sent in by a listener, and we thought it was a really good one.
Bonus footage. I miss Willett Hyzer, man. I know we've got a lot of stuff going on, but that was really fun.
That was good. All right, so remember, on the disc golf hot take, we talk about some disc golf topics that are sometimes based in reality and sometimes not. Keep in mind that our opinions that we express here or our argument aren't always necessarily our real opinions, but we just like to argue sometimes. But I think this one we're probably going to agree, but we may have different perspectives on it. I think we'll go ahead to remind ourselves, if you could, Anthony, play that disc golf hot take suggestion that was sent in by Speak Pipe.
Let me pull it back up.
I will give a full disclosure. We have had people send in some disc golf hot takes at different places. Just because we're doing this one doesn't necessarily mean we'll do every disc golf hot take that's sent in, but we do appreciate the suggestions.
So this originally came to us from Josh.
Hey guys, possible hot take discussion here. So if you want to use this for that, go for it. But I want to get your opinions on spoiler-free post coverage media posts. I wanted to see if you guys thought it was actually possible for everyone to come to an agreement. I mean, players, tournaments, media outlets to come to an agreement on if they could stay spoiler-free for a whole day until next day coverage comes out. I understand the arguments of wanting to watch live coverage, and I mean, it's there for every other sport, so why doesn't everyone just watch live coverage? I am a huge proponent of the produced coverage after the tournament. I think disc golf is in a unique spot where the coverage that comes out after the tournament is very much steps ahead of the live produced coverage. So I'm much more into that. I prefer the commentators, the follow flights, the replays, everything like that. So I wanted to get your opinions on if it would be actually possible to like get everyone to agree to do maybe like if they're going to post results to do a spoiler post right ahead of that, or what everyone could possibly do if that's possible. So I just said possible a lot. Anyway, thanks for taking the question and keep it real.
All right, so his disc. Let's turn that into a disc golf hot take. Let's say he says,
"Wait, are we arguing this for points again?"
Maybe.
Oh man,
Disc
this
golf
sucks because you get to go first.
His hot take is disc golf coverage, live coverage should be spoiler free, or disc golf coverage in general should be spoiler free.
What he's saying is disc golf posts made between live coverage and
so
releasing
Facebook,
of
Instagram,
post
Twitter,
coverage
stuff
Fair
like
enough.
that.
should be spoiler free.
My answer to you is you're spoiled. You're spoiled.
I'm going to lose this argument. I agree with you 100%.
Well, it's not about whether.
But you come
agree.
on,
Go
guys.
ahead.
Now
Yeah, hit it.
he did say he understand. Well, if you okay, all right. I'm like before I get. I just want to make sure. Maybe I should say the disclaimer. I'm not mad at you, dude. I'm not mad at you, dude. But you say you understand, yet you don't. That's not what you want. No, you don't understand. That's what sports is. It's happening live. We live in a different generation. We live in different times where, things come out super fast, and there's just no spoilers. You cannot not have spoilers in sports. Nobody gripes about the Super Bowl or the World Series being spoiled, right? Because they watch it. Now, to your point about the technology and the graphics and everything being better, yes, I totally agree. But that's because, and we've discussed this, there's money in it. There's more money, or at least it's the financial threshold is different when it comes to post-production and live production. I totally get that. But if you were to look at our first live video that we've done years ago in disc golf and look at what we're getting ready to come out with now, there's a vast difference. So have a little patience. And I'm sorry if I'm the guy that's going to tell you, if you don't want to be spoiled and know the end results of Game of Thrones, of Breaking Bad, or any other TV show or sports show, then it's on you to turn off social media. It's not on me to not celebrate or to put stuff out there for discussion.
For the record.
Wait, we got to say that afterwards, otherwise it spoils it.
Okay.
No, there's no spoilers.
Okay.
Good point.
Okay, I'm going to save that for the end then. Okay, here it is. Yes, we are spoiled in the sense that all information is like at our fingertips almost all the time, right? We see maybe there's a soccer. I used to do this all the time. Record soccer games, like when the U.S. national team was in the World Cup or something like that. And I want to watch and find out. And then I just happen to open Facebook. And I happen to see someone posted about how crappy Michael Bradley was, because that's real. And then I see that we lost or whatever. And now I'm pissed because I wanted to experience the emotion, but I actually had an obligation during which I wasn't able to watch the game, like life stuff, work, I had to travel, something like that. Like that comes up. Okay. So unfortunately for us, we live in a place where spoilers are a thing. right? That's it. However, how difficult is it if you're just trying to be as accommodating to as many people as possible? How difficult is it if you want to post about a disc golf event or a sporting event or something like that? It shouldn't be that much more difficult to just put a spoiler just right in front of it. Like if it's on Instagram and you're making a post, you can put a spoiler as the first picture, like the word spoiler alert before the fold, go into your post after that. I don't think it should be that difficult to do that. And for those who really, really care about wanting to find out and experience that real emotion that you feel in live, I don't think it should be that difficult to put a spoiler alert in there. Having that said, I'm also going to go on the side of just in case. All right, so let's say you're one of those people who do want to experience it in the moment, and you don't want it to be spoiled. If that's you, then watch the live coverage, because that's your best battle to this whole thing. Yes, we're in a place where right now post-production is better than live coverage, and that's because of honestly of the money and technical abilities that we have. Golf broadcasts used 40 cameras to cover an 18-hole course. We're lucky to have 4 on the course at the same time. And live streaming, they have trucks, they have hard wires to make stuff happen. Right now, a lot of times we stream off of cell signal, okay? So, all that to say, if you care so much about not being spoiled, watch the live coverage, just watch it. Do that. I don't care if you think it's lower quality. That's the way that you foolproof are not spoiled. However, if you want to accommodate the most people, putting a spoiler alert before should not be that difficult.
Okay, Robert. I'm going to play devil's advocate to your second point there.
I'm ready.
Also, Bobby, Masters Cup, Beaver State Fling. There is no live coverage. The way that it's announced, hey, Paul McBeth won, is because PDGA put something on Facebook. Why?
Right.
Why can we not wait, 12 hours now for Joe Miss to pump out 18 holes?
Right.
What's the point? Seeing that Facebook post, like you said, it's just kind of deflating. Oh.
Like, oh, man.
Okay, Paul won. Cool.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Because there's something called the 24-hour news cycle. So if things, I mean, in fact, there's even a sentiment that if you just wait long enough, people will forget about what just happened if something bad happened, right? Because there's a news cycle, because something is going to happen. And so it's up to the news to put the news out as it happens so that it's spread out as fast as possible and more people know about it. The problem is that you have outliers that are calling the shots for everybody, and that annoys the crap out of me, is that the few people that want us to not spoil will ruin it for everybody else, because everybody else wants to know what's happening, who did what, who got what. And so you've got, I mean, your point of, can't we just wait 12 hours? No, because then if they wait too long, something else will happen and take over that and overshadow that. So they've got to put news out. You got to put news out as it happens. I mean, that's why you have at the Super Bowl, there was news people ready to interview the Super Bowl champions. The second the clock ran out, you had news reporters rushing up to be the first to interview them so they could get the information out and the news out to let people know.
Okay, so tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it. If Paul wins Masters Cup and PDGA doesn't post about that until Jomas gets their video out, somebody will post it. Well, that's what the guy is saying. But we need to agree. We need to wait until
somebody will. That's the problem. That's the problem. That guy's banned. You never come to
get him off Facebook.
Zuckerberg says you're out.
Yeah. Somebody will post a picture. Somebody will have a phone and post something and say something or tweet something. And so then it will look bad upon PDGA to not be the source, the main people that are supposed to be the source of news, or Ultiworld, not that they want to become the source for all disc golf news. They're going to look bad, and you can't have that.
What were you going to say to my point? Do you remember?
Well, you were saying
You're stupid.
how
That's it.
you said
Idiot.
the person should just watch the live coverage.
Yeah, sure.
So if there is no live coverage,
Okay, that's fair. If there is no live coverage, then I think it's, I don't know. I mean, how easy is it? Somebody put it in here. They could say results are in as the start of their post. Like, so the PDGA can still post it first, but it doesn't have to have it above the fold. It doesn't have to say whoever won whatever event. Like here's another good example of where I actually see this done really well. I don't know if you guys are on Reddit very much, but I'm in a subreddit about Survivor. Okay.
Oh.
And, yeah, it's fantastic, by the way. You should check it out.
Nice, check it out.
But one of the things that they do is there's a tag for a spoiler if you're going to talk about the show within like a week of the show. I don't remember what the statute of limitations is, but it's something like a week of the show. A spoiler tag, and because of that, then you say, I didn't think about blank, right? And then if you use a picture, then it blurs out the picture. So then you have the option to say, all right, I want to read this. Then when you click on it or tap on it or whatever you do, then it shows the person's name. Then it shows the picture. But you had the chance. You can still scroll through Reddit being safe from spoilers that you didn't want to see. I think that's a cool way to do it. However, it's something native to Reddit. It's not like you couldn't just integrate that on Instagram or Facebook or whatever tomorrow. It's something that's native to that platform, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I think that covers everyone's bases. It's one extra tap for people who don't want to know. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's our opinions there, yes?
I think so.
All right,
You
cool.
tell me.
Oh, yeah. All right, I think I won. Yeah, thank you. I won this disc golf debate.
I mean, it says who. I'm going to go to Anthony on this one. I'm not so sure that that's the case, but we're going to go with whatever Anthony says.
If it were up to me in terms of what I believe, yes, Bobby is obviously the winner.
Yep.
Because if you want to avoid spoilers, then just avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
The world's not going to cater to you. That being said, I'm still going to side with Bobby and give him the points.
That's fair. 100% fair. Okay. First of all, Keaton Monroe has given me all I need on the board. He said Robert's IQ is 200. So, I mean, now you guys know. Now that we have given away the points, erroneously in my opinion, 100%, it is your responsibility as the viewer to get away from spoilers. If you don't want a spoiler, don't get on social media. Unfollow the people who are going to spoil it for you. Don't open YouTube. Don't open whatever. It is your responsibility. Like, live sports are live for a reason. It's happening at that moment. If you don't want to hear about it, it's your responsibility to not find out about it. I think it's cool that Reddit has that spoiler thing. I appreciate it, especially on something like Survivor, like in live TV where you can record it and stuff like that. That's really cool. And I appreciate that they have that there. But if something got spoiled for me at some point, eventually I'd be like, well, crap, I should just not follow this so that doesn't happen. Or stay off of Reddit until I've been able to watch.
Yeah. My absolute favorite disc golf tournament viewing experience was like a couple years ago. I just did not go on Facebook, did not go on Instagram, didn't touch the internet during Beaver State Fling. And it was the year that Paul and Will went to a playoff. Oh, I was loving it when that video finally came out. It sucked because over the weekend it was like, oh, I'm just going to check Instagram. No, I can't do that.
Can't do
I
that.
don't want to know who's winning. I don't want to know whatever. It was so worth it just from the disc golf viewing standpoint, but it sucks to basically just put your life on hold so that you can watch 40 minutes of disc golf. But yes, 100% on the person that's trying to avoid spoilers, to avoid them.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's this disc golf hot take. Thank you for tuning in to this bonus hot take.
Hey, just before we go, I want to let you guys know Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. So I just wanted to, I don't know if you guys knew that, but just something to think about.
All right.
Don't listen to this show. Okay, go ahead.
We'll listen to we'll catch you on the next disc golf hot take. All right, YouTubers, what do you got?
TJ says the sport can't rely on everyone watching the next day. It's silly. I agree. Like, for me, I like watching live coverage. I enjoy it because it's happening now. Like, I will sacrifice quality because of. holy crap, that was a close one. Yeah. I'll sacrifice quality because of the situation that we're in to be able to see what happens in the moment. That's what makes live sports great. Like, even when I have recorded a soccer game or something like that, and I go back and watch it, like, I can get excited in that moment, but it's not really that moment, you know? And like, when I've commentated for Jomez before, I've commentated on DD before, and most of the time we've seen what happens before we get into there. It's preferable that we don't see it so that we can have genuine reactions to it. But when you've seen a shot before it's thrown, I mean, even the reactions of the commentator lose their excitement, right? Mm-hmm. Because you don't get, like, in live sports, we're reacting at the exact same time. You get to see it at the same time the commentator is talking about it, at the same time the play is happening. That's what makes it special. It has a captive audience. That's what I like about it. Now, I love what Jomez is doing. I love what Central Coast is doing. Anybody who does post-production, I like getting to watch that because it's beautifully made. But if given the option, I'm watching live unless it's just, you know, potato cell signal abilities in the area. That's it.
So, Dave, to David's point, he says most people can't dedicate the time to watch a full weekend tournament live. That's why next day is so popular for disc golf. To that point, I say, David, is that again we are, I don't want to say spoiled, but we are privileged in that we have someone who does. Imagine there is no post-production coverage.
Okay.
Imagine we catapulted or leaped over the need for post-production because of finances, and all we had was live coverage.
Yeah. It'd be like everything else.
It'd be like watching the Super Bowl. It'd be like watching the World Series. Mm. That's what you would watch to see the action. That's what you would watch to know what happened, to watch your favorite player. So to say that most people don't have the time, to that I say most people don't make the time because they know they have the alternative, which is the post-production. And because of the state of affairs of things, the post-production has more money behind it or is better quality because of the way it is. So, yeah. Make time to watch the live coverage.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, which is a undisturbed view of what's going to happen, then make time to watch the live coverage.
Yeah, I agree. Here's a couple of comments in a row that I like. So Am I Romantic says, if you don't want to have disc golf information spoiled for you, then don't go to places where people are talking about disc golf. It's really that simple.
Now, to that point, I can kind of empathize in that. I could see don't go to PDGA's forums, don't go to disc golf review forums, but to not go to Facebook where it's more of a general place where you get information.
I think that's totally fair. If a lot of your friends on Facebook are disc golfers, you know that's a possibility. But then the comment right after says, it's not fun watching a tournament when you know who wins, takes all the excitement out of watching it. I disagree.
Depends on what you're watching it for.
Right. I kind of like knowing what's going to happen and then getting to watch it happen. Like, so if you get to, especially like, all right, we're playing a tournament, me, Anthony, Bobby. Bobby's leading by 2, but I know that Anthony won the tournament and he's leading by 2 on the last hole. Like, something either incredible or terrible is about to happen. I don't mind. Oh, Danny comes from the chase card, acing the last 4 and wins. I forgot to share that. But I don't mind knowing because then you know that there's a story coming instead of just like, all right, let's say we know that we found out Macbeth won and he won by 10. Okay, like that's cool, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me to know that story ahead of time.
And to the point of some of you that are putting on here that say, but I enjoy the post-production better. The live coverage just isn't as good. The quality, the commentary, all that isn't as good. Okay, but then don't get mad because I decide to watch the live coverage and decide to post on Facebook because I'm excited who won.
Tim says Hitler lost World War II.
Jeez. So if you decide that the live coverage isn't good enough for you, so you want to wait for the post-production, that's fine. Don't watch the live, but don't get mad at me because I get excited for the winner and post something about it because I've decided that live is good enough for me to watch.
Yep. Another comment here, Am I Romantic again, says, you can't have it both ways. You can't want to have the world at your fingertips and follow all these pages and be a fan and then ask them not to do what they do. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
I like it. This is a really good discussion for sure.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
I have a question.
I'm ready.
I don't know what your plans for this weekend were.
I'll be out of town.
Would you be willing to participate in a disc golf hot takes test?
Okay.
You said if you want to avoid spoilers, just stay off Facebook, stay off Instagram. It's
Sure,
that
yeah.
simple.
Great.
Oh.
Vegas is this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
I want you, full honesty, come back next Tuesday. I want you to try and avoid all Vegas spoilers.
Sure.
Obviously, it's just honor system, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And then is it just that simple of okay, just don't go on Facebook for the weekend?
Sure. See, but here's the issue with this test and why it won't work, and I'm not going to agree to it.
Okay, fair.
Because I'm not. Oh, rip.
Sorry,
Nice.
Would you like to change your opinion?
I got my microphone lost power somehow. I'm not really sure. What happened.
Let me jump right on that.
If I find out, it doesn't bother me, right? If it was something that I truly if I cared very, very much who won, who got second, who got third.
Sure.
If that was of paramount importance to me, I think it would be easier for me to not do that. But since I don't mind if I find out, I have no reason to do that.
Okay. Well, then I know how competitive you are, and I bet you can't do it.
Okay. First of all, I am very competitive, but I still don't want to do that.
Bet you won't. Bet you can't.
This game's stupid. I'm going to consider it. And when we get back, I'll tell you if I was able to do it or not.
Deal.
Okay.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next. We're just YouTubing it, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it.
Nice. All right. Thank you, YouTube.
Thank you, guys. Hey, awesome chat interaction today.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, you guys.
We'll have a better disc golf hot take next. I mean, we'll have another.
Whatever. That was a fantastic
No, that was
disc
a
golf
good
hot
one.
take.
That was a good one. All right. We'll see you guys.